Swords and Sandals is a game series many of us loved as kids, but what most people never realized is that the lore behind it is surprisingly deep. It all starts with the world itself, Tritonia. It's a big planet like Earth with 2 suns. It also has 2 moons that make its oceans wild. For a long time, it was a quiet world, but that all changed when the constellation mirror showed up. This shiny black door is a living wormhole. It appears every 50 years. It pulls creatures, tools, and even whole groups of people from all over the universe and puts them on Tritonia. We count the years from when it first showed up in years called CM, which stands for Constellation Mirror. The story of Swords and Sandals is about a very wild time from 587 CM to 640 CM. It starts after a huge sea war called the Four Oceans War. That war left no one in charge, which made the world a mess. It also set the stage for an even bigger fight to come. The year is 588 CM. 2 years after the Four Oceans War ended, our story is about one unlucky pirate on a ship called the Calamitas. The ship hits a giant iceberg and sinks, and he is the only one who survives. For 3 days, he floats on a piece of the ship, then he washes up on the empty island of Doomtrek. This faraway island has a fancy new fighting ring. It was built by a rich man with a lot of charm named He Chaos. Bad things that happened to him as a kid made him a little crazy. He built an army of followers called the Legion of H because he wanted to be famous. But He Chaos was being tricked by a ghostly magic user known only as Antares. Antares used his smarts and a lot of money to take over the fighting ring. He put He Chaos in jail and secretly made himself the first emperor of Doomtrek. With Antares secretly in charge, He Chaos, who was now under his control, was still the public face of the ring. With no money and no friends, our pirate has to become a gladiator. This is the game we all remember. We remember that first trip to the shop, looking at the weak gear and trying to get enough gold for a wooden shield or a small dagger. The game is a classic that everyone loves. You fight, you win, and you get gold and experience. You level up and make your character stronger. This helps you do more damage, have better aim, and stay alive. Each new level lets you get better gear. You can learn to use swords or heavy maces. Each win gets you closer to buying a full set of iron armor. But this journey is about more than just gear. It's about beating the champions of the fighting ring. One by one, you beat fighters like the strong Baron Wolfgang and the mean Lord Chos. You take their weapons and move up the ranks as the crowd cheers. The last fight is with the ring's top champion, He Chaos himself. People call him a mad ruler who has never lost a fight. The fight is very hard. But our pirate, who is now a tough gladiator, does what no one thought he could. He beats He Chaos. By winning, the gladiator gets enough gold to buy a ship and leave Doomtrek. But his win caused a big problem he did not expect. Beating He Chaos broke his power. In the mess that followed, the real person in charge, Antares, made his move. He threw He Chaos into the jail of his own fighting ring and made him fight for fun. With his puppet gone, Antares, the true power, came out of the shadows and made his rule as emperor. The simple gladiator games were over. The emperor's time had begun. Our hero may have gotten away, but he had let a bigger darkness loose on the world. 2 years later, in the year 590, Emperor Antares' mean rule has made Doomtrek Island the main place for gladiator fights. Antares used his money to build 6 new, more dangerous fighting rings. Thousands of people come to the island to become famous, but many more are brought there in chains. Antares is one of the most powerful beings in the universe. He is secretly using the island for his real goal. So many gladiators were dying, and that was a key part of his master plan. He wanted to raise them all as his own undead army and take over the world. And what about our hero, the gladiator with no name? After he sailed away, he traveled the world. But he could not control his own fate. He started to get visions in his mind from a wizard named Bargal. The visions showed a dark power growing under the mountains at Seul's gateway. The visions made him go back. He bought a ticket on a ship and sailed right back into danger. This time, he is taken as a prisoner. He is caught and thrown into the jails under the fighting ring. This is Swords and Sandals 2, Emperor's Reign. You start with nothing. Your first fight is against a harmless old man, which is a simple test. When you win, you are free and have to start climbing to the top all over again. The game is much bigger. The main way you play is better, with weapons for long-distance fighting and strong magic. You can even go to a church for special blessings and strong potions. The world feels bigger, and the challenge is much higher. You are not just fighting to live anymore. You are going to have to face an emperor. You fight through a new group of 20 great champions. You face the deadly shooter Dauntus, and even the samurai Daimo Katsumoto. On the way, you find a friend in a knight named Sir Belgrave. He is also looking into the Emperor's evil plans. As you move up, you learn the horrible truth about Doomtrek. It is a huge underground place with tombs and dark altars. It is where Antares is making his undead army. You find out that the man you have to fight is a danger to all life. The end is a wild, long battle. First, you face Emperor Antares himself. He wears his famous armor and uses the blade of the Empire. He is a true final boss. He even gives you a chance to join him and rule with him. If you say no, the fight gets even weirder. The strange wizard Brandor shows a darker side. He calls an evil copy of you to fight. Just as you are about to beat Antares, a being with great power comes down from the sky. It is the Archangel Sandalphon. He warns you that your path of anger will cause bad things to happen. He tries to stop you, which leads to a huge fight between a person and a real angel. After you fight the Archangel and prove you are worthy, you get to the Emperor's special room for the last fight. You beat Antares, which ends his rule of terror for now. The gladiator with no name has saved the land, done what he was meant to do, and became a legend. The danger is gone for now, but because no one is in charge, this sets up the next great war. The death of Emperor Antares did not bring peace. It meant no one was in charge. The years that followed, from 592 to 596 CM, were full of mess. Old fights and dreams of power flared up all over the land of Brandor. A familiar face comes into this messy time. Chaos. He is free from being a slave on Doomtrek, and he is crazier than ever. He was tricked and made to feel ashamed. His anger is now like a fire that could burn the whole land. He gets his Legion of H together and starts a war of revenge against people from his childhood. Baron Wolfgang, King Lionel, and Sir Belgrave. Chaos is now fighting a war for silly reasons from when he was a kid. This is the story for Swords and Sandals Crusader. It changes the game from fights in a ring to a game where you control big armies, like the classic game, Defender of the Crown. You play as a general in charge of huge armies. You pick from 8 groups, which are split into 2 sides. The Defenders of Brandor bring together King Lionel's kingdom, Baron Wolfgang's Free States, and the religious Templar Church. The Axis of Evil is a group that does not trust each other. It is led by a resurrected Emperor Antares and his undead armies. They have a weak deal with a monster army and Chaos's Legion of H. The player in the main story has a sad past. You were caught as a soldier in a small fight. You are forced to work for Chaos's Legion of H. There, you see how mad he is and how bad his plans are. You are sick of the terrible things that happen because he is a bad leader. You leave and join the fight against him to make up for your part in his war. The game mixes turn-based planning and real-time fighting. You move armies on the map, attack castles, and send horse soldiers charging into groups of skeletons. When armies fight, a mini-game lets you control your soldiers and win with strong spells. It is a game about using what you have, smart placement, and giant wars. It has huge fighters like 50-foot demons and giant iron robots. The war goes on for 4 hard years. The Axis of Evil ends up fighting itself. Antares' Death Imperium becomes the main bad guy. The last battle is a tough fight between the last of the defenders and the endless undead armies. As the fight turns, King Lionel and Sir Belgrave lead a final, brave charge right at Emperor Antares. In a famous fight on the battlefield, the 2 heroes fight together and defeat the resurrected Emperor one more time. This time, they make sure he stays down. The wizard Brandor shows up and seals Antares' life force inside a strong object, the Grail of Antares. His body is hidden in a secret tomb. The Crusades were over. The biggest war in Brandor's history had ended. The world was saved, but the universe was about to get much, much bigger. The year is 600 CM. 4 years of peace have gone by, and Brandor is fixing things. 50 years have passed since the constellation mirror last showed up. Right on time, the space door opens again. This time, a real spaceship comes out. It is carrying the automatons. These smart robot people are like the Terminator or the Necrons from Warhammer 40k. They do not come to take over, but for fun. They build a huge new fighting ring. They announce a contest of a huge size you can't even picture. It is called the Gladiator Ultratus. This is a first step for an even bigger show, the Galacticus Fantasticus, the best gladiator contest in the galaxy. This is the story for Swords and Sandals 3, Solo Ultratus. The series goes back to its fighting ring games, but makes everything bigger and more cosmic. The player is a new hero, the Starbound Gladiator. He wants to prove he is good enough in this new contest run by aliens. You can see right away how much bigger everything is. The list of 24 new champions is the weirdest yet. You fight against stone giants, alien fighters, and the robot automatons themselves. Characters people loved come back in strange new ways. Chaos is here, and for some reason, he runs an armor shop. The wizard Brandor is back, and now he is fighting as a champion. Even the great beast Arglax, who used to be Chaos's second-in-command, is here. The story gets bigger with characters like Sagan Blue, a living magic blob who ate his own maker to get ultimate power. The way you play shows this space level change. The art looks much better, and the weapons are all new. Along with swords and axes, you can now use pistols, shotguns, and even bazookas. One of the most famous new weapons is a magic electric guitar that lets you rock your opponents to death. The series goes all in on its mix of science and fantasy. The contest's main goal is to finally end the threat of Emperor Antares. The last battle is at Sol's Gateway, where Antares' body was put in a tomb. The starbound gladiator fights and beats a weak, ghostly version of the bad guy. This seems to end his threat for good, but winning the contest is only the start. After you beat the last champion, the automatons come down. They tell the starbound gladiator, "You have been picked to fight in the Galacticus Fantasticus, the ultimate gladiator tournament. What you have fought so far is just a small taste of the dangers that are waiting for you." In an awesome final scene, the automatons take our starbound gladiator, the wizard Bargle, and another alien champion. They are taken away on the spaceship. They leave Tritonia behind to fight against the best fighters in the universe. The story of a pirate who was in a shipwreck has now become a story that crosses the stars. The starbound gladiator leaving for the stars is a big change. It is where the main story of Swords and Sandals breaks into different parts. The story moves to new types of games and brings back old bad guys. The next games, Swords and Sandals 4 and 5, happen at the same time as the later years of the Crusades. They fill in story gaps while our hero is in space. Swords and Sandals 4, Tavern Quest, is one of the most different games in the series. It's a digital board game, mix of Mario Party and gladiator fighting. Up to 4 players pick a hero and travel across different lands. They play in over 40 different minigames. The game does not have a big plot, but it is great at building the world. It adds dozens of new champions and adds more detail to the towns and lands of Brandor. Then comes Swords and Sandals 5, Grail of Antares. This game is set during the Crusades. It brings the focus back to the undead emperor. The main character is the Grail hero. He is a good fighter whose job is to deal with Antares' broken spirit, which was sealed in the Grail. The troublemaker Hikeos, who is always around, is trying to get the Grail pieces to bring his old enemy back to life. The Grail hero's job is a race to find the pieces before Hikeos can. This trip takes you through deep caves to face scary monsters and old guardians. The game shows that the Grail hero is a fighter as good as the heroes of the first 2 games. He is strong enough to finally put the weak spirit of Emperor Antares to rest for good. But what about the starbound gladiator? What happened to him at the Galacticus Fantasticus? The answer comes much later in Swords and Sandals Immortals, which is when we move to the year 640 CM. It is 40 years after the starbound gladiator left. The heroes of the Crusades, King Lionel and Sir Belgrave, have died of old age. The automatons come back to Brandor with terrible news. The starbound gladiator has been turned evil by a being from space. He has been changed into a being of great dark power. He is now coming back to Tritonia to destroy the planet by ripping open the constellation mirror. The world must once again use the fighting ring to find a champion strong enough to face this evil hero. He was once known as the greatest fighter alive. A new set of contests begins. It puts a new generation against a danger that was once their world's greatest hero. The cycle of the fighting ring starts all over again. When you look at the whole 640-year timeline, it is easy to get lost in all the information. But there are characters who keep coming back, famous places, and ideas that change over time. These things turn the games into one big story. The 2 main bad guys, Hikeos and Emperor Antares, are perfect opposites. Hikeos is a messy and kind of sad bad guy. He starts as a boss of a fighting ring, is made into a slave, starts a huge war for reasons from his childhood, and ends up as a pest who keeps showing up. He is a man whose plans were much bigger than his skills. A magic spell keeps him from getting old, which is why he is always around. Emperor Antares, on the other hand, is just smart and evil. He was a magic user who became an undead being. He is the series' biggest bad guy. His goal is to rule the world, and he is smart and strong enough to almost do it many times. He is the reason for Brandor's biggest wars. He is such a big danger that it takes many heroes and even help from angels to beat him. The world itself gets a history. You can see through its places that show up again and again. Doomtrek Island is the most famous. It changes from a simple fighting ring to the center of an undead war machine. It is the place where it all started. Places like Sol's Gateway are special places where heroes meet their fates. The groups also make the story deeper. The Legion of H is always causing trouble. The Templar Church stands for order and belief. And the automatons stand for the big, strange universe beyond Tritonia. They are beings who see a planet's fight to live as a game to watch. A cool part of the story is how the ideas of the series change. It starts as a small, personal story about one person trying to live. It grows into a fight for a nation against a mean ruler, then blows up into a total war. With Swords and Sandals 2, it blasts off into a science fantasy story. That change, from a simple gladiator game to a story that spans the galaxy, shows a creator who was always making his world bigger in new and fun ways. This world has been growing for over 15 years. It grew from a simple online game into a story told in many games on different systems. The amount of detail hidden in these games is amazing. Now, I want to hear from you. What's your favorite Swords and Sandals memory? Which game in the series is your personal favorite? And what part of the story surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this look into the story of a classic piece of internet history, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more.